Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get all adjusted so that you can see me. Hello, I am Mercedes and welcome back to the Frugal Life of Mercedes. If you have been with me for a while, you know I have not posted in over 2 weeks, which is very much unlike me. I've been getting some messages on Instagram and different things like that asking where I have been. I am perfectly fine. I was just taking a mental break for a little bit. I've still been couponing and I've still been going to the food pantry and all that kind of stuff. But I intentionally took a small break from making and posting videos. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I am okay and everything is good. If you guys have been with me for a while, you know that last winter, my mother-in-law passed away from brain cancer, and they didn't have a funeral. She was cremated, but tomorrow is Halloween, and Halloween actually is her birthday. And we are doing a celebration of life, so I will finally be able to say, you know, I'll be able to kind of have that goodbye moment. I was with her a couple of hours before she passed away. As you guys also know, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I am no longer with her son. So at the time when she passed away, my ex-husband and I were separated, but on good terms and all that kind of stuff. So him and I were there with his sister and brother and grandmother, and we're with her right until the very end, which I'm really blessed that, you know, we got to say goodbye to her and all that kind of stuff. But I grieved it at the time, but for me, it's going to be, it's important to have that like goodbye moment. So yes, and some other things that have happened that I haven't really talked about was, you know, a lot of you guys knew that I was getting divorced. My divorce was finalized over the summer. I just didn't announce it just because, you know, I do talk about my personal life some on this channel, but, you know, I have to do everything in my time frame. And, you know, there's going to be the comments like, oh, you don't have to explain yourself to us and all that kind of stuff. And I don't feel like I'm explaining. I just feel like I don't mind saying certain things, but it has to be in my time frame and all that kind of stuff. So my divorce was final over the summer, completely peaceful, amicable, all that kind of thing. My ex-husband actually lives in he lives further away. As you guys know, I live in Virginia. I live in the country, but he lives closer to the DC area now, which is great. So I have not seen him since we signed the papers and all that kind of stuff. But again, as always, you know, we are on good terms and all that. So we really kept it civil and, you know, all those kinds of things. And I wish him the best and he wishes me the best. And it'll actually, you know, I'm fortunate in that way. So I get to go say goodbye to my mother-in-law and, you know, it's just a lot of stuff going on. And a lot of you also know that I was engaged for a short while, and that relationship ended. And that guy, we have known each other since we were in 5th grade. And I did say in a video that him and I were no longer together and I was living with my parents. But him and I are on good terms as well. Like I said, we've known each other since we were kids. So, you know, it was just one of those things like we shouldn't get married because we've known each other since we were kids and our families know each other. You know, it just wasn't it wasn't just the right situation. So I also get a lot of questions about living at home with my parents. So my family and I are very close, and I like living with them. I've lived on my own since I was 19. At 19, sorry guys, I got like a catch in my throat. But when I was 19, I moved away to college, and I lived in the dorms, and then I've kind of always had my own apartment, and I actually never had a roommate until I was living with my ex-significant other. So I've always lived on my own and all that kind of stuff. And then when I was going through the divorce, you know, rent is very expensive. You know, I'm sure it is in a lot of places where you guys live too, but in Virginia it is crazy. And you would think living in the country it would be a little cheaper, but it's really not, because especially after with the pandemic, you have a lot of people from DC and Northern Virginia moving to the smaller country towns so that they can have space and all that kind of stuff. But then they bring with them the big city money, which is making the rent and the housing just insane, which it was crazy before. So yeah, I'm perfectly content living at home with my parents. And I was actually looking at apartments, and my mom and dad were like, we'd really love for you to come home. You know, my mom and I are best friends, and you know, we're a very close-knit family. So it really is like, you know, I always said that I wanted to live like in a commune, and really my family, we kind of, you know, it's kind of like that, you know, and everybody lives very nearby. So I'm near my niece and nephew and my other sister who's married. And I have, you know, my two brothers, which are special needs, and they live right down the road. So, you know, it's like we're all right here, which is exactly what I need right now. I really need that, you know, family support. And I get a lot out of my relationships with my family, and they say they seem to get a lot out of the relationship with me. So, yeah, and I'm really content with that. You know, it's like I have responsibilities, but at the same time, it alleviates some responsibilities as well, and I can focus on goals that I have and take the time that I need to process situations and different things that have gone on over the last 2 years, which is great. And I have some things in the works, which I'm not going to get into now, but I've got some big things coming. It's just going to take some time to figure out a plan, and well, I have a plan and I have some plans, but you know, it takes time to make that come into fruition, and waiting for the right opportunity and all that kind of stuff. So yes, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I am perfectly fine, and I'm feeling really great, to tell you the truth. I was feeling exhausted and wore down, and as a lot of you guys know, I became debt-free in July, and I realized I had not taken time to really like enjoy that. I had busted my butt really hard for a long time to pay that off, and then I noticed that I was still hustling just as hard, which is not a bad thing, because that's who I am. Like I get things done, and I have goals in mind, and I do what I have to accomplish those goals. And you know, but then I was like, it's like I had to realize, like, this YouTube channel is mine, and I control how often I put out a video and what kind of content I put out and all that kind of stuff. And it was like, I can choose to take a step back from this, So yeah, and that's what I needed to do. Because if you don't make YouTube videos, I think maybe it's hard to understand, because it was hard for me to understand before I had a YouTube channel, that a lot of time and effort goes into these videos. Now, granted, my videos are not elaborate. My videos are not super edited, or almost never edited, because that's just not my style. But even if you do very, very basic, easy videos and you enjoy it, it still is a lot. You know, I try to answer every message that I get, you know, and all that kind of stuff, and just, you know, processing all that. Plus, if you're processing grief, the last thing that you want to do is be reading messages from trolls. Now, that's 100% the world that we live in. There are trolls. They're just mean, nasty people. And you know what? Go on with your bad self. Live your life. But, you know, the last thing you want to hear in some of these situations is how I had no right to get divorced. I look ridiculous with my nose rings. I'm taking advantage of my parents by living with them, and I should be ashamed of myself, and all those kinds of things. And the thing is I let those roll off my back, because if someone has a problem with my appearance or my living situation, then they should call me. And if they don't have my phone number, then their opinion doesn't matter. But at the same time, even though I let them roll off my back and I think they're ridiculous, and I don't get upset, I actually usually end up laughing. It's usually a good laugh, like, like in all seriousness, because you have to. Because my videos, you know, I like making them, and I get messages and emails all the time talking about how I've helped people look at finances different, or you know, different things like that. But if you're processing grief, which I am and I have been, then you know, it's just like one of those things, like, I'm gonna take a little break and have a mental break and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I feel good and I feel well rested. And yeah, so thank you guys so much, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And I have missed talking to you guys in the comments. I have missed uploading my videos. So yes, so please consider subscribing, and until next time guys, bye.